So it is another episode of Ragecast. I am George Souza.
I'm Marco Honorado.
Nelson Philippe.
Every fucking week.
Already? Really?
Every week.
It was that guy. The last episode was that guy.
It's that guy.
You gotta start.
Jeff Silvera, I play bass.
He actually says his name. Nice.
Yeah.
We have a guest in the house.
Yes, we do. Today we have a special guest, like we alluded to on our last episode. His name is Michael Pereira, and as we had alluded to before, he is going to be directing our first official music video. So I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. Speak into the microphone. Walk up and say hello.
Yeah, my name is Michael
All right,
Pereira.
sounds good. So we'll continue on.
You fucking bastard.
Sorry, if you could take.
No, it's a local filmmaker. I write for a horror website called BloodyDisgusting.com. Plus, I do genre films, at least at the moment. And yeah, I'm excited.
And soon to be music videos.
Yeah,
too.
first music video. Yeah, excited.
Awesome. Awesome. So Mike's been nice enough to come down and join this insanity that is today sponsored by Tim Hortons, of course. As always, Nelson, thank you very much. And roll up the rim, because we know
the rim and lose.
That's, well, yeah,
See, he's good
two
for-
chances to lose.
See, Nelson's good for stuff other than jokes.
Is that what's next?
Oh,
Is that a
Bringing
segue?
coffee.
Is that a
I
segue?
that almost
it could be.
sounded like a segue.
It could be.
So let's get to Nelson's joke.
Shitty joke.
Sorry,
Nelson.
Nelson's shitty joke of the episode.
So, y'all know what a dog's favorite button on a remote control is? The pause button.
This is oh my god.
Great, man. Move
We
on.
gotta cut this segment now.
Just-
Straight.
Just when we thought it could have. It just.
Okay,
gets
I
worse.
thought the last episode
come
one
on.
was bad with fucking Toad.
Shitty ass toad joke.
This is worse.
That's like a perfect kid's joke.
Pause,
good.
man.
That's a kid's joke right there. That's perfect.
Man, you just told me that.
Every fucking episode.
I think.
Every fucking episode we've done has been some
We
shit.
gotta
ass-
remove this segment.
I think Nelson's goal for these jokes is going to be how bad his jokes can
It's
get.
pretty good.
Is there really
I
fucking?
love it.
Bro, keep on.
Release the headlines accurate.
Yeah.
That's why it's Nelson's shitty joke of the
If
episode.
it was good, then you'd have a
So what
problem
was
right
that?
there.
The dog's favorite button is the pause.
The pause button.
God.
But doesn't change.
Oh fuck.
Moving along.
Moving right along.
Fucking bad. All
We
right.
got some news.
See, y'all like it?
No, it's not. It's,
Well, it has that effect because it's so fucking bad that it's like, how the fuck did it get that bad, right? So it's fine.
all right.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to the news portion of our episode.
Yes, sir.
The news. What do we have on the news?
So you said you wanted to talk about last week's
Oh yeah,
last week's show.
Yeah. We ended up playing a show last weekend, I believe, at the Smiling Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Usual bullshit. There was problems with bands pulling out last minute, and
And request for gear.
again,
See, we start on a positive note.
yet again,
Yes.
last minute addition to the show. We were supposed to go on first. We had requested so just because of our equipment setup and all that crap. And then we're told the day of, oh, by the way, this band's coming in to play 20 minutes. Okay. These fuckers showed up with no gear. Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Mike,
They
you're
had their
laughing?
guitars
That's
and
your-
maybe a drumstick. And
breakables. They had breakables.
and
so I
they,
remember saying that.
flat out asked to use our gear.
Let's
And
be fair.
We were like, you
let's
gotta
be,
be kidding
let's
me.
be fair. They may have had guitar picks, maybe.
It's possible.
Wow. Yeah.
How old are they?
Spade is spade.
Very
Hey,
young.
This is the best part. They came from out of town.
When
Where
you're,
they come
what-
from?
if
From
you're a
Ottawa?
touring band,
Windsor, I believe.
No,
Windsor,
Ottawa.
Oh, was it Ottawa? Okay,
if
I
you're a
went to the other
fucking
side.
touring band, how can you come from out of town touring and not have your gear with you?
Yeah.
Like I can understand. Hey man, you know what? We forgot something. But if you purposely drive 4.5 hours and say we brought our breakables and our guitars, we're ready to go on stage.
So after about half an hour of bargaining with these guys, we finally said, you know what? We're tired of this shit. Yeah, use our gear. At least it'll already be on stage, so we don't have to do that. And I guess they
pulled out.
Yeah, and they were like, they didn't want to be responsible for damaging any gear, which is the reason why every band should bring their own fucking gear.
I think what was
And then they kind of walked out on the show. And That's what happened.
Not to interrupt Jeff.
Wow. Come on,
He's going to continue, but I think the turning point was, if I believe correctly, the guitar player that wanted to use your cab, Nelson's cab. Once Nelson told him, you can use it, but if you break it, that was it.
That was
and the guy was like, nope, okay.
I was straight
verbatim. No, but it's you have to be standing where I was standing, which is by the stage, and listening halfway across the venue to a very serious Nelson going, you can use it, but if you break it, and there's a nice pause. Yeah, I think we're just gonna bounce.
You get the point.
That's exactly what the guy
Yeah, but like,
verbatim.
it
Dude, I was
shouldn't have been a
fucking.
surprise to the guy.
No
'Cause you gotta
shit.
think, if you're using someone's gear and you break it, guess what? Yeah, you are gonna pay for it. Because what, the poor bastard that let you use it is gonna pay for it? No, you're gonna pay for it.
You're not ready to play if you show up at a gig and you say, we need to borrow 2 cabs, a bass rig, and a drum set.
You gotta be
they wanted
kidding
to
me.
use
Well, and they had the option to use the house kit, and they backed out.
Yep.
Why?
There was
Because
2 shitty Fender amps sitting there too that they could have used.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
refused to use that.
Yeah, exactly.
They want
So-
to use our.
So you want prime
our
gear
high-end
that you
shit.
see.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I know.
What happened if none of the bands came with gear?
It's
Oh,
happened.
fuck
So
would you-
no, but
What?
it's usually no, but
it's
Then guess what? You know, we're playing. You know,
It's a
and we're going home.
range, 3 hours
Goodbye,
I'm
set.
Charlie.
surprised that the way
Acoustic
some
set.
of the bands come prepared. They don't come prepared at all, man.
there have been instances where it's been discussed prior to the show. There's a note that goes out about gear sharing, and usually everyone's pretty cool about it. If that happens in advance, I'm fine with it because then we'll be honest. And it's like, hey man, excuse me, we've got a custom rig. You know, we're not really comfortable with it, but
This is how we
everyone
roll.
knows.
This is how we roll. We will not let you use our gear, but we will not use yours as well. You know,
Exactly.
we're gonna
I
bring
don't-
our stuff to play because you know that's our sound too. Like
What I've
I don't want to
noticed.
use some other guy's amp. It's gonna totally change the sound. Like
That's right.
you know, I totally disagree with
Dude,
you.
I'm
What I've
gear, it
noticed
makes
with
no sense to
people
me.
that keep asking to borrow stuff is immaturity. They're young. They don't
These
either
guys didn't
have
look
the
that
cars
young,
to
dude.
carry stuff around, or they
One
don't.
of the guys
want
had a beard down to his tits.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
Are
think
you
he was,
serious?
Yeah, I don't think he
Yeah,
was
one of them
15.
was a little older. Yeah.
I don't think he was 15.
But it's
No,
like,
they're not. But I mean, like,
I've carried my shit around again. Like I say, I've carried it around since I started playing the first gig. So there's no excuse.
I like how Mike's just sitting here staring.
Anyways,
he's staring at the wall. He's like,
So enough of the gear
fuck, what am I
bullshit.
gonna
This
do?
was one part of it, but go on with whatever.
Anyways, this was a birthday bash for some
burning house.
friends of ours.
Winner, Gagno.
You didn't win again, you cocksucker, did you?
Fuck off! Did you win?
Another coffee.
For those of you who
So this
don't know
guy
what's
tells a
going
shitty
on,
joke and he wins a free coffee.
Jeff is pissed off because every time this guy here rolls up the rim to win, he fucks
This guy being Nelson.
Nelson, yeah.
That guy.
That guy.
And Jeff maybe drinks 100 coffees in a month and he doesn't win shit.
That's true. So anywho, this was a birthday show. Yeah. Again, we were kind of miscasted in the set. This was kind of a hardcore / punk show, and you know, let's have a thrash metal band open up the night. So it was, you know, weird crowd reaction. We got, you know,
You got
claps,
some good responses.
the usual claps, but everyone looked kind of confused.
A lot of head bobbing.
Well,
Like
The people
just
looked
this.
confused, like they didn't understand what the fuck. What do you want? It's your
My
cigarettes?
cigarettes.
You
Yeah.
interrupted my story.
Jeff, can you pass me my cigarettes? Thank you.
Anyways, I
That's what his
don't.
lungs are good for.
It looked to me as though they appreciated what they heard, but had no clue what to make of it. Because the following band that went on was very Rage Against the Machine like, and people were moshing, and it made no sense. It made no sense to me
This isn't
whatsoever.
gonna knock any bands.
It's not. It's not.
It's
It's
gonna
not.
be fucking weird. when-
They were good at that style of music. Like, you know, they weren't a shit band. They went on, they played their style, but it was more Rage Against the Machine like, and there's moshes going on. And it's like,
Moshes, there's fucking beast.
and it's like, you know, we're playing like 100 miles a minute here, and the best we can get is like a head bob, so it didn't make sense to me. But I've seen, again, it was the wrong type of show for
I've
us.
seen people watch it in Oasis concerts, so I mean, like,
Oh, fuck.
Are you
no.
serious?
yeah, when I went to see them back in '95.
Alcohol, man.
Yeah.
Alcohol and drugs.
The thing
Crazy
is,
shit.
Cypress Hill too.
Okay, but Cypress Hill, I can understand
Yeah.
borderline because it's like Public Enemy. Because I saw people mosh at a Public Enemy concert when they played Bring the Noise.
yeah, they
Oh, bring the noise though.
Bring the Noise was fucking Anthrax, I know. But what I'm saying is, I can see that Public Enemy is that
Yeah.
was that type of band that you could see people's crowd surfing
Cypress
and
Hill was
moshing.
pretty.
Cypress Hill is the same thing. I totally agree.
But anyway, I guess what the moral of it is all. I mean, it's just kind of hard to go on
Yeah,
perspective.
agreed.
And have a high intensity show when it's like you're getting mixed, you know.
Yeah, it was a weird feeling for this show. I mean, we played all right. That's pretty usual, but yeah, it was just a weird vibe.
It was playing wise. I thought we put on a good performance, but you're right. The vibe on stage was a little not on stage. The vibe just in the venue was a little
I
strange.
don't know, man.
I'm still pissed that fucking Phil drank my beer. I know it was Pabst Blue Ribbon, which
Oh, then let it go.
it was
Let
dumb. No, it's not the point.
Let it
That
go.
it's not the point.
Pap-
Pabst.
Yeah.
I even got heckled. It was either that or Donkey Balls beer, and we all know that I wasn't drinking Donkey Balls beer. We already tried that the last show. I couldn't get rid of
I
it.
guess the positives for me from this show was that we played a decent show.
Yeah.
And the crowd was there. Like, we had some numbers, which was good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty full. Yeah.
It was and honestly,
For going on first, yeah, it was
Yeah.
very full actually.
Those were the positives.
Yeah.
a big shout out to and a big thank you to Vernon Howell, because I mean even Adrian, when we did Happy Birthday for him, and him and Ted came up and he went and talked went on the microphone and thanked us for opening up the show. It's like they didn't have to ask us to do it,
No, we were happy to do it.
we were happy to do it, and I
I'm just saying it was kind of a
was a
weird show
weird-
for
yeah.
us because it wasn't really our crowd. You know what I mean? That's basically what I was getting at.
So that would be the news.
That's it for news.
That sums it
Next.
up.
That's it for news, other than having Mr. Pereira here, but we'll get to you in a second. As always, the next segment is with Mr. Honorato.
But did we do the joke of the day already?
Yeah, we
Oh
did.
fuck!
Oh,
You remember that
Do you have any
shitty?
more, or you-
No, it's one. It's
it's-
one shitty.
You want more?
No.
That's what it is. You
You
want
sounded like
more.
It's
One
one
is
shitty
enough,
joke
dude.
of the episode.
That's
I don't have enough.
So he met his quota.
That's it. One. He's good.
Okay. All right.
See, that joke was so shit. You blocked it out of your mind.
I forgot it, man.
You totally blocked it out. You're scarred, man.
Yeah, traumatized, man.
So the next segment, usually we have two. This week we've got how many, Mr. Honorato?
We have 3 questions.
So what
All
the
right,
hell are we
there you
doing
go.
now?
So for the Ask Ragecast part of the
Okay,
show, we have the first question from Steven. And his question is, what's your writing process like? Is it everyone together or individual ideas?
Why don't you answer that one, Marco?
So there you go.
A little bit of a
Writing process. I would say it usually starts with one of the band members coming up with either a cool riff or an idea. Sometimes I'll come up with a drum beat, and then it'll kind of just go from there. It'll snowball effect, I guess. We'll collectively add parts to it as we're going along, and everybody's open to suggestions, so we're pretty good that way. Yeah, it's collective, I would say. So,
Yeah, that's the main point.
yeah,
Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rarely. I mean, there are individual ideas, but yeah, I mean, I know Nelson and I have worked on shit together.
yeah,
And
but
then we come, but I mean,
even you've come with 3/4 of a tune, and then
but it's always just a blueprint, right? It's never like, here's the song that I wrote, and that's it, and that's the way it's gonna
Because
stay.
in
It
the
never
end-
ends up staying that
in
way.
the end, the ideas become collective, where we change something or add something.
So, yeah, that sums it up for the first question.
I think for us, the other thing that I put down, and I thought it'd be interesting, would actually be to hear your being Michael's, what your writing process is like. Because I think one thing is talking about it from a band perspective. Another thing is talking about it from a totally different avenue, but is still artistic, which is in the film component. What your writing process is like, because ours is a collective. I suspect yours is very much an individual.
Yeah, it's just an individual. No, I basically, well, now with cell phones, right? Half the time when I'm working, because I got that kind of mundane job where I have a lot of time to think. Any idea that comes up, I just jot it down, and it just starts usually just with just ideas, visuals, and lines of dialogue, and I just write. I generally spend a couple months just writing ideas, not trying to kind of decipher them, and until I get enough that I feel like, okay, it's starting to. Then I start forming some kind of plot structure, and then dialogue is generally the easiest thing to come up. But yeah, but generally just I kind of just explore, just try to take it in every facet, every direction, and then eventually something starts forming, and then I just, yeah.
So when you say, are the ideas like a laundry list of things, it really doesn't matter, or is it, so I know, for instance, when we write, so the 4 songs that we've been working on now the last little while are theme-based. So right at the get-go, when we talked about what we wanted to do as a collective, it's like, we need, we want to sort of have a theme. So you start coming up with ideas, I'm speaking lyrically, but
Yeah.
even musically, you start coming up with ideas with a theme in mind. There's something in your head that sort of,
Yeah.
for me, triggers. So I know that I want to have a certain
ebb and flow of how the lyrical content goes? Or is it for you just a mishmash of like, oh look, that's a pretty fucking cool idea, let me just jot that down, and then you just sift through the pile after?
No, actually no. So it should be more specific.
Yeah, you probably should have been. Because
yeah.
why would you just?
Well, no,
just random fucking ideas.
Well, no, random
a
ideas.
bird,
Well,
a
you know,
peacock, a gawkish.
You know what, Mike?
You know what? I think I'm gonna write a fucking film about birds.
You know what, Mike? Don't be shy, okay? When he starts rambling like that, you just tell him to go fuck himself. George, shut the fuck up. So
See,
at any moment, like just cut in. Just tell him, George, shut the fuck up.
We got your back on that.
Mike and I have known each other since we were kids, so.
So yeah, no, I tend to just focus on like the one concept, and that's what I throw. I try to take the story in every possible direction because and like with music as well, right? There's so many directions you can go. I just explore every possible way before I start narrowing down to what I really want. But I generally have like I almost always have a beginning and an end where I want to go, and then the middle is always. I'm sure with songs it tends to be the hardest part is the middle section. It's usually kind of easier to start it off, no?
I find the end to be the hardest part for us. Because at what point in time do you say, okay, I mean, then writing's got to be the same thing.
Yep.
Where do you say, this is it, it's fucking over, and I'm done, and ta-da, chapter closed? Because with music, you can just keep coming up with parts that make sense.
I think it's a feel thing, too.
I was just going to say
For us, it's a feel thing. I don't know.
I think with anything, any creative, it goes by feel.
You can tell when it doesn't.
You can
feel
tell when
finished.
it's coming to
like,
an end.
I don't know, it's not done yet. But then when you have that last section of music, that final change, you're like, okay, you know what? This feels like it's a good way to go up, right?
Yeah, no, but I just didn't know if from a film.
For us, it's on feel, but for Mike.
Well, you know what? Actually, a big thing. I guess I could throw a question back. Okay, well, for me, like music is a big thing.
This is Ask Ragecast.
No, now I'm going to ask you guys. Well, how many?
Well,
shut the fuck up, George.
Go ahead.
No. For me, like music is a big thing. Like I'll listen to like, I guess I would assemble a soundtrack of what I'd kind of want the film to feel, and that's pretty much what I'll be listening to over and over again as I'm writing, and that usually will inspire. So throwing it to you, how do you listen to particular music, or is there any images or anything that you read or movies that you watch to get you in the headspace of whatever?
Musically or lyrically?
Or lyrically, both.
Okay, so lyrically I can speak to it, but I think it's nice to hear from the rest of the guys.
Well, we know you'll speak to it, so.
Wow. So lyrically for me, I think generally it's...
Chapter what?
Generally it stems from conversations we've had here in the room. So if we're talking about, a theme base. So I've been challenged by Jeff to write a song without swearing, to write a song not about a girl. Both times that happened, both times I was able to do it. So I think a lot of it is, I'll either pull on certain strings that I want to tug on and see, does that make sense?
You like tugging on stuff, don't you, Jeremy?
You're not tugging on
Yeah, maybe.
Oh fuck.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta tug on your own string to get... Sometimes.
The string?
No, but I think, honestly, like, when we started talking about writing these 4 new songs, we knew it was going to be theme-based. In my head, that's what I wanted it to be, was try and do something different. How do you evolve? So lyrically, it was like, okay, I think I have an idea as to where I want to go, so just, it's like pulling a thread on a sweater and seeing how much you can unravel.
Yeah.
Lyrically. Musically, because Nelson's asked me this a few times, like, it's the reverse. Do you have any ideas for lyrics? Because that's what's going to drive the music for
I
him.
don't know how he does it, honestly. To me, music feels like I need to have a base of lyrics down before I can write music for it. And I've been, because of him, I've been constantly writing music, and he throws lyrics in there. Like, it melds, it works well, he does it well. It's just, I find it so hard. Like, I don't know how he does it. Where he can throw the lyrics into music, like, it's just, I don't know.
I find actually your process even harder. I think it's
Really,
more natural
right?
to me. Like coming with, I guess for me the in film terms would be images, right? I come with the images, and then the dialogue to me is like what you do afterwards.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it's.
But each person is different, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. Everyone has their own
Hey man,
process.
Jeff once told me, you could write Mary Had a fucking Little Lamb, I don't care.
I need a script before I can give you images.
Yeah, that's, for me.
And everyone's different, right?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
So I think that for me, lyrically, that's how I write. Musically, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm always amazed by some of the ideas that we come up with, either while we're here or like when Marco comes back, it's like, I've had this fucking idea in my head forever.
Kind of like last practice.
Yeah, well, okay, that was just fucking funny, dude.
I couldn't, see, I can't play guitar, right?
So he's trying to explain something. Go ahead.
I'm like, okay, I like the riff you're doing. You guys are doing the riff the same way I had in mind, but I didn't know what note. I knew the note in my head, so I was trying to hum it to them. Try doing the riff in this key or in this note, but they weren't getting it. You know, they're playing it in the same octave, or what was it?
We were playing the same note an octave higher.
Because that's what you were humming.
Because that's what you were humming.
You can't point
And
higher.
you're like, no, that's not it. But I guess it is it.
No, that ain't it.
At one point, we were like,
We went down the whole
and
scale.
he's still no.
We
We're
did
like,
the entire scale, and he still said no. So it's like,
And then
no,
we
you're
played
full of shit.
we played the same note, and he's like, yeah, that one.
This was
That
the
wasn't-
original
I know,
note.
no, I know, just busting balls. I'm always amazed how individuals get those ideas, how they pop up in their heads. So like Marco's come into the room, so for instance the new one that we just finished, part 3. That drum beat, I remember he's like, bro guys, I've had this idea in my head and I don't know if it's gonna work, but and he starts playing it. I think it was Jeff was like, that'll work. And then we start tweaking, and then that then spawns a guitar part or a string part. Jeff's come in with ideas. I do know because he said it. The best ideas happen where?
On the shitter, my friend.
There you go.
Nah, I've heard about that.
Or the shower.
Shit, shower, or shave. That's where the best ideas
It's in the
happen.
bathroom, though.
It's in the bathroom.
It's the bathroom. Something about a
That's
bathroom.
the thing. Like,
You ever hit writer's block? Just go take a shit, a shower, take a shave. You'll come up with something.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing, like going back to what George was saying. Like sometimes I'll come up with the drum beat, and sometimes I'll try to come up with not really a guitar part, but the way I hear it in my head. I can't play guitar, so it's a little hard, but that gives them their ideas to run with it. Or the vice versa, I'll be like, man, I can't come up with the drum beat. And they'll be like, okay, just do this, keep it simple, or they'll give me ideas. So,
Well, we did that.
no, but we're open that way. Like,
Yeah,
nobody's
we've
like,
always
I'm
done
playing,
that.
this is my part. It's
Collectively.
We
There you go.
did this. Again, I revert back to the new one, but it's the best way to talk about it. When Jeff's like, that's like a pure old school Sepultura sound
Yeah,
from a drum perspective, and right away you knew exactly what he was talking about.
yeah.
Because the guitar part
Like
had
a
that
Slayer,
feel.
Slayer.
No, the Sepultura.
Yes,
When you go to
yes,
halftime.
Okay.
So Jeff tells Marco that there's a certain tempo that he's hearing. He plays it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, now that's all I hear is Sepultura or Soulfly in that specific section.
Only in that section.
Only in that section because that's what Jeff had triggered to get you to play that way.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We're sitting there, no, it's got to be sort of one, like a half instead of the double time. So I think
Yeah.
we've gone off track with Steven's question,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's
Steve,
actually a really
Collectively.
cool question.
Steve,
Yeah, well, what else?
Jesus Christ.
collectively is the
Collectively.
magic word to answer this question.
For us and individually for Michael.
Okay.
So what's the number 2?
Move on to number 2. This one comes from Amy. And her question is, what's the scariest / funniest thing to happen to you guys while either playing or getting ready for a show?
Did he just tell us that?
Wow, man. What hasn't happened?
Okay, so I guess.
Man, we got a laundry list of stuff.
Okay, so scariest, I think we talked about it the last episode, for all of us, would have been the Opera House show. For me,
Yep.
that was probably the most, even talking about it, I get antsy sometimes. That I had anxiety for a
My,
long
when we talk about it, my head goes
Goes
like
right
it's-
back there,
it's
doesn't
like
it?
I'm
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and my heart palpitates a little bit.
What,
and-
the plan B?
no,
No.
the Opera House show.
Okay.
When we talked about it the last Ragecast, even just talking about it, we never said what happened, but even just talking about it made me really anxious, and it's like, okay. For me, that would have been the
Now,
scariest.
now tell the people what that moment was.
So, on my 30th birthday, we play a show at the Opera House. For those of you that are not from Toronto and are listening to this, Opera House is a relatively large venue, so sort of somewhere in between like an arena.
It's a concert hall.
It's a concert hall, thank you, yeah.
You can hold like what, 500 people maybe?
More than that.
More than that, right? Yeah, we saw
2,000,
damage.
2,000,
Yeah.
2,000 maybe?
Yeah.
3,000?
It's a concert hall.
Yeah.
It's a step up from your average venue.
Club venue.
Yeah.
So on my 30th birthday, we do the show, good turnout. We had already had some issues prior to getting on stage with some of the folks that were working the show, let's just say. I don't want to get too into details with names and shit, so.
Well, hey, if you're doing monitor mixes, don't smoke a joint. That's all I gotta say.
So there's that. There's
No,
that.
because that's what it came down
That's
to.
what it came down to.
That's what it came down to, okay?
Bottom line, the monitor mix screwed us all up in terms of bounce back, and we got lost. But right from the beginning of that show, it was destined to go.
Well, even before we hit the stage.
That's what I'm saying.
So here's kind of what happened. When they were doing the sound check on Marco's drums, the snare drum mic, for some reason, was not plugged in. And they kept telling Marco, hit harder, hit harder, hit harder. And he's smacking the shit out of his drum, and nothing is coming out.
Well, you know I'm a heavy hitter.
Nobody clued in to check if this mic was plugged in. So they turned it up. They must have maxed it out, or whatever the hell it was.
So all you were getting was reverb.
So
The bounce back.
yeah,
from
so we
mic
played the
was-
show.
was
At
the
some point towards the end of the show, maybe they figured it out and plugged it in.
You hear it on the CD. There's something that goes really odd.
All
and it's
the-
not your playing.
It's the reverb of Marco's drums
and
just hit us square in the face, just like drop of a dime at a very important part of the song.
Because we're fucking playing.
It was right in the middle of a change,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's just reverb in our face, and there was a delay. So there was a delay from what we were hearing to what Marco was actually playing, and like it got to a point where we had to stop in the middle of the song. and we had never done that before.
I was trying to get
ever.
on track. All of a sudden, I didn't know where I was. That song has what, maybe 10 or 12 changes?
13 changes.
13 changes. So
Yeah.
this happened like, I don't know, the 8.
Change number
Right,
8
it
or
was,
something.
change
it was in
Yeah.
between guitar solos. It was
Yeah.
my guitar solo into Nelson's.
So basically, I got lost, and I'm trying to get back on track. And
Yeah, but at that point, we were so... Everyone was doing
I was
this.
trying to climb up a fucking hill, but it's full of grease.
People were moshing like maniacs, though.
That's the fucked up part.
We were
That's
so
what I
off.
get.
We were so off. It was unreal, and people were still going nuts. It's like, okay,
That was the
But-
first and last time that we kind of lost each other, and I couldn't get back.
You know what, though? I gotta say, I'm grateful because in the 13 or 14 years we've been together, that has been the only, mishap of that nature. We've had other mishaps,
Well, I
but
never
that's been the
everybody
only,
has.
like, big holy hell moment.
yeah.
And
that's
we've had some
probably
other
the
ones that
scariest
are.
one.
That was really scary. It's scary being a performer and getting up there, and you know it's not as if it's anyone else. It's the four of you on stage, and oh fuck, and that would.
I mean, when you get on stage, generally, you always have that in the back of your head. You're like any little moment of, you're in a daze or you're not paying attention, and you could fuck the whole song up, and there's no turning back. So I think when it actually happened and was happening,
You know, there's no turning back at that point.
I felt like
It's surreal. It's a surreal moment.
Time slows down. It's so weird. Yeah.
so. Yeah, that was.
I think that's the scary. Funniest moment? Oh, where to start? So I can just give you
There's tons
one.
of them.
I can just give you one very quickly, and it's the show at Hamilton when we were standing outside. See, he already knows. We were standing the show we played with the Agnes in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Nelson and I are standing outside. You and Marco are in the car, and Nelson gets a text that says, "Hey, look, a peacock." And what was I doing? Doing this, trying to look for it, because I couldn't see it over
going
the fucking
on-
car.
bastard couldn't look
Standing
over the
on his
van.
tippy toes because he couldn't see over on Honda Civic.
For the
Come on,
For
man.
most of you, when you hear this, it's not going to sound funny at all. 'Cause
No, but it's funny as hell.
You have to know the story behind it,
There's
and
a lot of inside joke. on
inside
that.
jokes and whatnot. But
Oh,
I,
fuck.
basically, I don't know.
So George is a male peacock. That's pretty
Male.
much it. No, you go ahead.
So basically, that's our
Oh,
thing.
look, it's going to be George Bash.
We all said if we were birds, what we'd be. I think that was going to be a fucking pelican.
Flamenco.
Oh, flamenco.
You were flamenco.
And-
Paul, why do I got
And
to
I'd
be
be
pink?
asking, why am I pink the whole time? But George would have been a peacock because,
Oh,
the
fuck,
peacocks
what was
open
that?
their feathers up and they're like, look at me. Type
And it's the male peacocks that do that shit to get the attention of the female peacock.
Which,
And
if
that
you-
is so George, man.
Which for those of you who know George will know
The
that would
feathers just.
that would be his. That would be
Oh, yeah.
A1.
Chicks walk by, boom, feathers out in the air. It's
Okay,
unreal.
so hold on. Before we continue the story, you said what you were gonna be. Nelson was?
I'm a dodo.
No, you were an ostrich.
No, I gotta be a dodo.
You,
bird.
okay, he wants to be a dodo bird.
Come on, what the
You
joke?
were an
Pause
ostrich.
button. Come on.
That's now.
Come on.
The best is Jeff though. Wild turkey, baby.
Yeah.
Crazy turkeys, man.
Anyway, continue your story. Sorry.
So yeah, basically we all kind of spotted. There was a lighting store across from the club that we were playing at, and of course, of all the birds to have in the form of a lamp, and let me say it was like a 5-foot lamp, right in the
Same
front.
height too and everything.
Same
I'm not fucking 5 feet.
I think George might have had to even look up at this fucking thing.
Oh my.
Ooh, 5
Dude,
foot
I'm not
one.
He needs the platform boots to
So
be eye level.
basically, me and Jeff were in the car. George and Nelson were outside of their car. We're waiting to go in the club, and we just bought this big, huge peacock lamp in the window. And me and Jeff were howling. I'm like, dude, you gotta text Nelson and tell him to see and text the guys, right? So not only was it funny because we saw the peacock of all places to see it, but the funniest part was
He's already laughing.
George is on his tippy toes trying to look over the minivan to see the fucking
No,
peacock.
it wasn't a minivan.
Yeah, it was.
dude.
It was a minivan.
What?
Yeah, it was. It was your
I
minivan.
thought it was a sedan.
So not only was the peacock funny on its own, but I mean George on his tippy toes trying to look at the fucking thing. So I mean, if you were there, it's one of those things where you got to be there and you got to know the inside jokes. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Other than that, I don't know, man. I mean, there's been a lot of funny shit.
I got one. That douchebag, that stage dive
Yeah.
while we were
face
playing, and
planted.
everybody moved out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that was at the rock pile, wasn't it?
The guy with the bass,
Yeah.
or
No,
No.
A douchebag.
We were playing.
it was at the rock pile. We were playing, and
Yeah.
he jumped side
yeah.
stage of where Nelson
Yeah,
was.
this
and
beast
staged him.
swatting cocksucker was cheap shotting people all night
Yep.
in the mosh pit,
Yeah.
and people had had enough of this guy's crap. So by the time we went on stage, he thought it would be a good idea to jump on stage with us
And then
and stage dive. Well, he did, and everybody said, you know,
the sea
"Fuck
part.
this guy." Parting of the Red
Nice.
Sea, and he face planted.
Oh,
Boom, right on the
dude.
floor.
dude,
And
it was
security
so-
just like
'cause I saw-
casually walked in, grabbed the guy up by his pants, and like out the door. It was fucking
Dude.
hilarious.
I saw it because I saw him cut in between Nelson and I. I was looking over at Nelson at the time, and I just watched. And it's just, you ever seen? I'm trying to think of what movie it is. Where, like literally dives off, and then the camera pans, and no one's there, and it's just a body on. That's exactly what it was, dude.
How do you still play when you see something like that?
You just rumbled through it. And
smile.
keep
We were
laughing.
laughing.
Oh, dude, we were on stage
We had
once.
huge smiles on our face.
We talked about it the last episode. We were on stage once. We were still transitioning between names. So at one point we used to be called Bleed and we were transitioning into Condemned. One of the guys that had seen us a few times, in the middle of the show, in a break, between songs, yells out, "Let's bleed all over this fucking joint." We were laughing on stage.
He had that drunk.
He was so
Yeah, he was
loaded.
drunk ass. Man.
Oh, dude, he was so
He
loaded.
had that drunk like I can barely stand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was staggering in the back.
Oh yeah, he was just look. Even the last show, like with Will heckling. There's always something. It's like fucking comedy hour when we were playing.
Oh, the Halloween show where Marco was dressed as a taxi driver,
Oh yeah.
De Niro.
Those Halloween shows were fun in general.
They were
'cause we
fun.
Right,
dressed
but this
up, like-
particular case where he was dressed up as the taxi driver De Niro with the mohawk,
with the
when his gun
when his
holster,
gun holster
slid
slid
off
down,
when he was playing,
and he was.
and it tied him up, and he had like Tyrannosaurus Rex hands,
Yeah.
and he was
I
trying to
forgot
play
about that.
drums with the stupid. Oh man,
T-Rex.
That was actually scary though.
yeah,
that
but it was scary, but it was funny too because we're like, what the hell's Marco doing? We turn around and he's got like these T-Rex arms playing the drums. I'm like, holy shit, he's pinned in. Right?
Oh, dude, that was fucking awesome. I forgot about that. That actually was an interesting night because we saw the video footage after. We had sort of filmed like a little documentary for us. Nelson was dressed up as Elvis and went into
Elvis,
the Jamaican. He goes into like the Jamaican beef patty place to order a Nestea in a can, but he's dressed up as Elvis. And the guy, so it's being filmed. The guy who behind the counter plays along. What can I get for the king? I need a Nestea, man. In a can. In a can? In a can, man.
He's got the 1970s
Oh, fuck.
white suit with
The Aloha Elvis.
yeah, the sequins, right? And like this awesome wig.
Pompadour.
Like you had the awesome Elvis
Yeah,
wig.
Pompadour.
Should put a snippet of that on the website.
Yeah, just I have it. I sure I will.
Yeah, it just walks right into the
Oh.
store, man, with the camera on him.
Even in here, though. But
I get a
honestly,
can, man.
even in here, Jeff and Marco, if one of them gets laughing and they look at each other,
Not good.
it's bad news for everyone because they feed off of each other, and
It's a struggle.
it just goes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we've got pictures behind us, but yeah, it just goes. So,
That's
Amy, I think that answers her
yeah,
question.
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
Any other
that's-
funny moments? Man, I think there was more
20
funny
minutes to answer 2 questions. Eh?
You
Oh, there was the Plan B. You had brought that
Yeah,
up
that's
earlier.
right.
Plan B was fucked
It
up.
started off scary, but then it was like, what the hell?
Oh, then we were laughing because it turned into like Plan Z. It was going to be Plan every letter of the alphabet.
So we had a show ready to go. We're taking our gear out of the studio, and the pickup truck that we were using back then. This is before we had vans, so it was a pickup truck. It was my brother's actually,
Yeah.
and flat tire. And it's like we got half an hour to make it to this show with a flat tire. It's like, what the hell are we gonna do? Right? There was no spare, and a buddy of ours, Armand, was there.
He was here with us.
He was here, and he's like, man, he's like a New Yorker, native New Yorker, right? Very zen kind of guy. And he's like, it's like, you guys need a Plan B. And we were like, Plan B? What the fuck is Plan B? Like, we got a flat tire. What the fuck? Like, we were like, but he was like, you know what I'm saying? Because he kept saying, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Do you
We need a
remember
Plan B? We got to get a cab.
Thank you.
3 or 4 cabs and fit your shit in the cab. And I'm like, can we just call CAA and fix the goddamn tire
He wanted us
instead
to
of
get
Plan B?
minivan cabs.
Well, he was trying to help, right?
He was trying to help, but we were like,
Can you imagine our
we were in a
faces?
situation.
Everyone's stressed and in a situation. And he's like, we'll just call like a minivan cab. And they'll come in and I'm like, how are they going to load this in the van? Like, we got a lot of gear here. You can see it, right?
Look, Nels, please play again.
That's okay. I didn't win
Please
shit
play
either.
again.
Check the other side.
Jerk. What other side?
There's two sides.
I'm gonna lose twice. Please play again. Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, there was that one. I forgot about that.
That was good.
So I think that answers,
That answers
Amy's,
that one.
Amy's question.
All right. Question number 3 is from Jonathan in brackets Johnny Cook. Hey guys, what advice would you give to new bands that are just starting out and are hoping to make it in the music scene?
Bullshit.
Don't bother.
Okay, so no, it's funny because someone else said that. But anyway, that's fucked up.
Good question.
It's a
You know
great
what? I guess, what genre of music are you in? I mean, if you're not into pop music, I'd say don't even try at this point. I don't know. I don't want to tell people to give up on their dreams, so that's not what I'm saying.
Obviously, we're still doing it.
But-
so-
I guess it depends on what you mean by making it in the music scene. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you're talking about playing local venues and the odd out of town show and just enjoying doing it for the love of music, then
You know
who
what?
gives a
though?
fuck who gives a fuck about making
I
it?
think, I don't know, but I think the question from Jonathan, if I'm understanding correctly, to make it in the music scene, I think he's talking maybe record deals and
Fuck.
doing it being able to do it for a living.
The
at
era
least.
of record deals are dead unless you're
Do
into
it
pop
yourself.
music.
Or being able
It's
to
do it yourself.
Do it
That's
yourself.
the advice we got, I think.
Well, I mean, you see it everywhere. You know, a lot of people, bands or even single artists, they take off just from maybe posting one of their songs on YouTube, promoting themselves. Days of doing it any other way are pretty much done. It's all self-publicized now, right?
Michael and I were talking about this in the car about, it wasn't necessarily about the music scene, but just in general. No one's gonna give you a handout. You want something, you fucking take it and you do it. No one's gonna hold your hand and do it.
Yeah.
And it's not like it used to be. Now we're all 30 something here, so it's not as if back in the day where a band had a demo or they luck out because some guy is listening to them play at a venue. Considering there are no fucking venues and the scene is dead, it's hard. And I don't know where Jonathan is from. So I mean, in Toronto, you're done like dinner. I shouldn't say that. The scene is different.
There's
It's
always
just-
a possibility,
there are
but
possibilities,
it's
but
a
it's-
lot harder than it used to be.
This
let's
is
put it that way.
this is my philosophy on the subject, right? Practice.
Oh fuck yeah.
Okay. Especially if you're into metal, I mean, you're gonna rely heavily on live shows, word of mouth. You can do all the social media in the world, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That's all great ways to get your stuff out there, right? But at the end of the day, it all comes to getting your music out to people who might not be on those sites or right. So you want to be able to back your shit up live, right? So practice, get your material set,
Strong.
get your music
Strong.
really strong. Go into a studio. The more your chops are up, the less money you're going to spend in the studio to record it.
Yeah.
Get that. Get a product. It's very important to have something recorded, some type of product, right? So practice your ass off. get your shit ready for live. Go in the recording studio, get yourself a demo or an album, whatever you want to do, and just get it out there.
Yeah.
Use what's there. You know, like back in the day, none of this stuff was available. When we started, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube. We were actually sending out packages to record companies.
Full on, like, physical copies.
With everything, with photos,
8x10 glossies.
glossies,
Wow.
photos.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Nothing
about
digital. There's no such thing as digital when we were starting. We had to give out actual packages to record
We have to
companies
spend money
and hope
to make noise.
that they had it in their budget, you know, to sign a metal band. You know what I mean? It was very tough. Nowadays, I mean, there are other ways of getting your
But
stuff out there.
It's still tough, though.
But it all comes down to your product. Just whatever style of music you're playing, just put everything you got into it. That's very important.
For me to answer that question, the way I see it is, if you're looking to make the money, just to get the deal, to make it big, give up now, because it's a 99% chance you're not going to make it. If you love playing music, if you have that artistic side and you enjoy writing, keep doing it. If you have the time to play live shows, then go for it, because you never know. One day that 1% might fall on you, right? But if your heart just says, oh, let's play because I want to make it. Let's go play a show because I want someone important to see us. You might as well forget it.
Depends on how you, and I think you're right, but it's about how you measure success. So, you know, making it in the music scene could be playing a live show. I'm not saying that's it, but, you know, depends on what you consider measuring success. Because if measuring success to you is honing your craft and being the best you can possibly fucking be as a band or as an individual artist or musician, and that's how you measure success, that's it, you've reached your pinnacle. It's like hockey players, right? So hockey players spend thousands of hours practicing and honing their craft and learning to skate and learning to shoot and puck handle and all this shit. And think of how many hockey players, professional hockey players there are in the NHL. 700? 740? 800 maybe at the most? Out of, what's the population in North America?
Billions.
Millions, for sure.
So,
All
I
of
mean,
North America?
I don't know if
either which way. The point is, 800 hockey players for, what is it, 7 billion people in the world? Something like that? 6 billion? It's a very small percentage, man.
Well, yeah. Give it your all, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Put everything you got into your product. That's all. You know.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Just if you're gonna do something, do it.
Yeah, do it. Don't second guess it. I
Don't
think,
half-ass it. Put your heart into it
Yeah,
and
that's the point.
use what's available to you to get your music out there. That's pretty much it.
Is how much work you put into it.
Yeah.
You know, like we've played with enough bands. I'm not gonna say names, or half the names I don't remember. But anyway, you know, young guys will come up on stage. You can see they're not prepared. They're trying. They're starting out, but a lot of them are just doing it just for the what is it? I don't know. How would you explain it? They're doing it for
Pussy
the
and booze?
idea of being in a band and living that life. But at the end of the day, you can tell which bands have been putting time into the music and which are just doing it because it's cool to be in a band, right?
Okay. You ever gone to a show, seen a band? I'm talking about professional bands.
Yeah.
And you listen to their album, and you really like their album. You get there, and you listen to them live, and you're like, "Holy fuck, this is not the same band I just heard."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody with money and time can make
I'm not gonna
a
mention
great
bands'
sounding
names,
album,
because
but
Nelson and I
you
have
gotta
seen
be
it.
able to back that shit up, man.
Oh, dude, like I said, I
So-
saw Machine Head last night.
Yeah.
At the Phoenix.
How was it?
Oh, wow. But I mean, you look at a band like that's been around for 20 years, and you listen to their album, and then you listen to them live, and Nelson, you can appreciate this because you've seen them.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing with a little more intensity and
They
energy.
do
But
really
they're
well.
so good at they're a great live band. And even last night, Rob Flynn's on the
Again,
mic, and he's like,
why?
'cause they
Because
practice
they're
it.
not caring about making the money or
It's
making
exactly
it. They're
what he
already
said.
there, but they love it. They enjoy doing what they're doing, so that artistic side comes out in the music, and it
dude,
That's
that's
very
exactly
important.
what he
Very
said
important.
last night. He actually said that before a song. He's like, you know, there are bands that tried to follow trends and tried to write that hit song. He goes, we've been around for 20 years and have never had a #1 album and have never hit it big, but we have loyal fucking fans, and it's because of you guys that we still do what we do.
Well, in the genre of music that we're in, that's you need the
Look at
loyalty
Slayer.
of your fans.
How many years is Slayer
You're not
been
going to
around?
get backing from anyone else but your
Exactly,
fans.
right?
Slayer, what, 30?
35 years Slayer's
35
been around, maybe? and they still have that loyalty fan base. So it was nice to hear from professional bands that just say, yeah, you know what, we're doing this because we love it. Yeah, I'm sure they get coined, they love touring, but at the end of the day, it's not about having the number one hit record. It's not about having, you know, how making it on the scene. It's about the product and what you put out there. And I hate to say it, but there's still a component of artistic integrity.
But you know, isn't there something really liberating about not? Okay, like we're all older, so now we know that there's the chance of making it is really slim. But isn't there something liberating about knowing that, okay, well, I may not get it, so now I can go bold and try shit that I normally wouldn't try, because now I'm not trying to impress anybody. Now I could do.
To lose now.
Yeah. So now,
Everything
so
to
sometimes,
nothing to
and
lose.
especially now in this day and age, I think you probably may have better opportunities now.
Yeah.
Now, you know. Now you're not, you just,
Yeah,
no, but now you really can be, especially now online, the stuff that really does kind of blow out. It's sometimes it's people who really try the craziest shit, or try something different that people are like, holy fuck, and people draw notice of that. But there's something really, I don't know, for me, my age, like, I think I'm peaking now, just only because I think now I just don't give a fuck. Like now it's like I do my best, you know, and now it's like I'm not really trying to cater to an audience or trying to land a film deal, but it's just like now make the best product.
For you.
No, and you know I'm not making it for the money, so then there's something about like, fuck, I'm just gonna make the best product, and
But dude, I
they
think
like it, they
that's-
like it, they like it, they don't like it.
Again, it comes down to maturity too, because you're more mature too. You're older.
Yeah.
You're more confident. You're more relaxed about certain situations. When you were younger, you're more antsy, more nervous.
Yeah.
You're not as
But
experienced.
you know what?
right?
If we were younger and took the chances when we could take those chances without
With us,
little repercussions, I mean, that's
Yeah.
also
with us, it's
a
a
chance
little
that
bit
you should take if you can, right?
Yeah.
If I
Don't
was
just
to-
wait until you're a
If
certain
I
age.
was
and
to
say,
answer
"Fuck it."
his Jonathan's question, like straight to the point, I'd say
Straight to the point.
yeah, straight to the point. Your best bet in making it in the music scene or being successful with your music is just loving what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from the experience that we've been through, as you can see, we haven't had a record deal or really, you know, hit it big in that sense. But I mean, we're still together because we love doing it. So if you don't love what you're doing and you're not doing it for the right reasons, it's got to be for the music, right?
Fuck, dude.
That's my
The
opinion.
best-
If
best
you're not,
way to put it.
Same
Yeah.
thing with you, Mike. I mean, you know, it's a living. It is what it is. But you love doing it. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
you didn't love doing it, you may have ventured off and tried. You know what? I've been pretty successful, but not. I didn't hit the big
Yeah.
leagues. But I'm doing good, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Right.
Yeah.
So.
But I think it comes down to not having that pressure, adding that pressure to yourself when you're relaxed and you're kind of carefree. You know,
Yeah.
you see the people who are most successful are the most. I hate to bring up Kanye, but there's something really relaxed and chilled and very confident about what he does, and he tries the craziest shit. Even for a guy
he
who's
gets
that big.
blasted for
No, he
it,
gets blasted, but he doesn't give a fuck. But he doesn't give a shit. He gets blasted more than anybody. But there's something really carefree about this guy's
But
like.
that's a big
Like he
part.
has tunnel vision. He just sees. I mean, like right or wrong, but I mean, like there's
Yeah,
something
that's what we see.
kind of inspiring about
There's
that.
no such, and then it's been said, I've heard this said a million times, there's no such thing as bad press. Because bad
No.
press is press just the same, it means they're talking about you, so.
Look at Metallica. They got
Oh, it's
and
not
like
going on bad.
no, but they've been through everything.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, like I talked to Lars at TIFF this year, and we talked about this is after Lou Reed's album came out. I mean, like, and the shit they went through on that. He stands by that album 100%. This is months later after that album came out. Still stands by the work that they did on that fucking thing. So it's like, you know, that was an artistic high for us, and we don't, you know. And he's like, there's no like, and he looked at me with utmost confidence, and regardless of what everyone says, and to be able, to, I think that's, yeah.
That's a big thing.
It was really inspiring, like just seeing a guy who just doesn't give
Well,
a
that's
fuck.
cool that in itself that you just got to talk to him one on one.
Yeah, he's the coolest guy.
Yeah. So yeah,
Pretty
that's
chill.
the best. That's my advice. Just you know, do it because you love doing it, and if anything else will come, it'll fall into place. If not, at the end of the day, you got music that you've made, and you're
Try to
still
get a
happy.
distribution deal.
That
Never
would
mind
be-
a record deal.
Yeah, no
Record it
kidding.
yourself
Yeah.
and get a
Get
distribution
someone,
if you
yeah.
can.
So to iTunes.
That's pretty that's pretty important.
And I think, gentlemen, that would be it for the hashtag Ask Ragecast this week. So,
Good questions. Thank
yeah,
you
these
so
were
much.
great questions. Thank you very much for firing us off. I'm always stunned and pleasantly surprised when the emails and then these notes come in about different questions. Because I mean, one thing is Phil Dill because we know, and Mr.
You
D'Angelo.
thought it was going to be a nightmare doing these rage.
I really did. I really did. Because well, you never know, right? You don't know what to expect. So, yeah, I mean, you know, keep firing off those questions. This is this week was kind of cool. A little longer than normal
Well,
for the Ask Rage.
Sorry, I just want to add something to the previous question again. Just to show how close. No, hey. Relax, fucking guy. This is how close you can get to getting a break, and then something shits on your face. So I'm going to bring up the Motorhead scenario with us years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
I forgot about
Years back, we had the opportunity to jump on, very briefly, was a one stopover in Kingston, I believe it was. Motorhead had come into town, or doing a little Southern Ontario tour, and along the way, one of the opening bands pulled out. I don't know how the hell we got that connection, but somebody we knew somebody, and we were actually added to the bill. We were going to get a chance to open up for Motorhead.
Wow.
Like, how fucking cool is that, right?
Dude, that was the pinnacle right
And this was
there.
years ago, and we were like, holy shit, we were higher than the moon. Like, we were just ecstatic about getting that chance.
I
Even
totally
one.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Even one show, even if they didn't take us on for the rest of the tour, but maybe the people that saw us there
We're like,
could have opened up, you know.
Yeah.
Some doors.
Wouldn't you know it, with our luck, because that's the kind of shit we go through. The band that had pulled out had now decided that they wanted back in. And they were unwilling to make accommodations to
the technical rider.
have us fit in, or whatever the case may be. So
What
we
do we
got
say
booted
to
out
that?
last minute. Of course.
Of
That's enough
course.
course, Mo.
That was a
Of
big
course.
show.
And, you know, that would have been the biggest show we've ever played. And who knows what would have happened if we had played that show.
And played it well.
And, you know,
Oh, yeah,
just
exactly.
because some asshole, you know, I want my M&Ms or whatever, boom, we got booted out last minute. And that really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But that could have been our chance. So, you know, back to how do you make it? There you go. Sometimes it's luck.
Yeah.
And with the same kind of luck is how you get booted right out of
Yeah,
it. So,
it's,
Yeah.
totally.
I just wanted to share that story.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
Oh, I did.
You blocked it out of your
I
mind. That's why.
probably, there's a lot of things I've blocked
I
out.
still talk about that with my wife sometimes.
Well, because, no, now that you mention
Shoulda,
it,
woulda, coulda, right?
yeah, but I mean, that was something completely out of our control.
Yeah.
But it's something that fell into our lap just
Just like that. Yeah.
Just like
Yeah, what
that.
a tease. Fuck.
Oh,
And
dude.
it fell
big
off
time.
our lap just the same.
It showed up just as quickly as it disappeared.
Yeah.
But for that very brief moment, it was like, fuck yeah, we're opening Motorhead, man. It would have been fucking badass, boy.
That
That would've been
1%,
really cool.
that 1%
That-
fell in our hands and
Yeah.
was snatched right back.
Blew right out.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our story.
So yeah, I think that's
That's leaving on a positive note. For
it's not a bad thing.
Really? It feels like a kick in the balls.
sure.
And how depressing, especially with that follow-up question.
Yeah.
See, like we're being,
How do you make it?
We're being pretty motivating, and like we're like it's, and then
This
you
is
do
how
that. It's
you-
like,
yeah.
oh fuck.
This is how
reality
you
kicks
don't
in.
make it.
Yeah, no
Like,
shit.
But
Don't listen to us.
Yeah,
This is how
yeah.
you
Don't
make
ponder
it.
on that shit.
But
Just
I think
don't-
Jeff's moral of that point is, I mean, you know, opportunities do come and it is possible.
Yep.
Yeah, for
You know,
anybody, really.
we never thought that would have even been a possibility, but for a short while it was. So I mean, it was cool while it lasted. But anything else, you know, any other scenario could fall on your lap. So just do what you love to do, and that's it, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So I
That
think that's it
concludes.
for the Ask Ragecast questions for today.
Yeah.
So don't forget to keep sending your questions again via Twitter at #AskRagecast or at,
Desert Rage Band at hotmail.com.
and we'll try and answer them at the next episode or subsequent episodes whenever they are. These are sort of random right now, which has been nice. I guess what we can do is talk to Mike, which is the reason why you're here. It's not to just have you on a podcast, but there's a reason you're here. So, a while back, and for those of you that have Evolution's Mistake, there is a song there. It's a long song. It's called Serve Thy Master. So a few years back, and I don't know if we've made reference to this before, but a few years back, we were fortunate enough, and Mike and I have known each other since we were kids, and we always talked about, oh, we should work together, you know, because Mike was in film and I was always in music, so at some point in time we should do something together. And then all of a sudden came an opportunity. I think, you know, for you, it was an opportunity to do something. And I don't remember if you reached out to me.
yeah, it was me.
I think it was you that reached
Yep.
out. So why don't you explain your side of it?
Yeah.
So that we can talk
It was a
about
film that I was gonna do. Again, I was younger, in over my head. It was a really big, ambitious project that, of course, I have no concept of money. So like, I had this really huge, ambitious movie that I like to do, down the road. Now it seems it could be more possible. But yeah, I had this idea where basically it's about this song that was written by Satan. That had Satan as an actual person, a human being in one form. And basically it's all about this kind of song written in his blood. And if anybody played it properly, and it took a really tough band to, goes through, we had a history of going through the generations through time of all these bands of or all these artists of like even before
Baroque era type.
yeah, and then how they failed, and basically they get this kind of Metallica type band, or the one band, the whole concept of like selling out. The idea of like they're the only band who can play the song right. It's written in blood.
Sellout song?
No, the thing is, if you play the
What
song
the
properly,
fuck?
well, but if you write this song, it'll cause the apocalypse, and that's kind of it's. So then I came to you to come up with that idea of writing the song, which I had a title. And
I
then,
still remember we had the chart and we had the flow of how you wanted it to be and how you
graph.
wanted it to kind of come.
well, that was funny. You kind of pushed me on as like write a graph. What?
Well, because you're
All right, and I'm like, to be honest, that was kind of bullshit. I think at the beginning of it, the middle, like I don't know what the fuck he wants. So he's looking all encouraging. I'm like, all right, but it's great when I finally did hear the final track, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's. And I'm set.
No, you did good. You did good.
Yeah.
You went the way you wanted it. You wanted it calm in
He
the
just
beginning.
finished telling us that it was bullshit.
Well,
he
on
didn't do it the way he wanted.
Well, that was
He
well,
did
no,
it.
no,
Oh,
no,
fuck
no.
it, I'm just gonna fuck her.
the-
Oh, I'm gonna fuck
No,
around with these guys.
Well,
right up here. See this?
But you guys went for it, and it was like so enthusiastic, and it was just.
I gotta tell you.
You drew a graph. Yeah, you drew a graph on a
whiteboard.
Again, the
and
beginning
you
of-
wrote an 11-minute song.
Yeah, well,
I remember.
Well, the beginning and the ending was always again.
I know.
The concept of where the middle, I had no idea. The middle is where I fucked around. The beginning and ending, I always knew where I wanted to start.
I
and
will
end.
never forget you turning around because you're talking to us here in the room, and you're like, "Yeah, so I don't know, you make it like 7, maybe 10, maybe 11 minutes long," and we were just sort of sitting here like, "This guy's fucking bent." And our songs are generally a little bit longer, but we had never tried this epic, like, 11-minute fucking monster. Usually it was like 6. Sometimes we pushed the 7-minute mark. But it was, when you said that, I just remember my eyes went, oh, that's going to be a lot of lyrics. And it was, all of a sudden, it became very structured. And we're not, I think we've become more structured as a band. But generally speaking, it's, when we've talked about it, it's very feel-oriented. So you turn around and you're like, so this is the idea. Fuck. Okay. And what? It took us about 4 months, 5 months to. Took us a while to really get the song.
Less than that.
Really?
Write the
Yeah,
song?
I think
Less
it
than
was
that.
about 3 months.
It happened really quick.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, I remember coming in a couple rehearsals. Like,
It was
holy
about-
shit.
Yeah, it's like we're halfway done.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It
3
was not that
months,
long.
we had it nailed.
3 months,
Yeah.
the song was done, complete.
And the final version just sounds like a more fleshed out version
Thanks.
of what
Honestly, that's something, and we were really bummed out that it didn't get made because I think we were really proud of what we had written. We're like, we've never written like this before. We've never had someone, apparently now, bullshit a graph for us. He laughs about it too.
Yeah.
But like that was a real struggle because we get bored quickly. So at some point we'd be writing a part and we're like, yeah, it's cool. Okay, let's change over. And I remember Jeff doing this a couple times. He's like, dude, man, you got to think longer. It's got to. I remember a couple times you're like, yeah, it can't be 4 bars. It's got to be 8 or 12 or 16. We really need to pull this out to get that dynamics of what was what was on the bullshit graph.
Can't have a song with 32 changes,
But honestly it was really cool. So I think when we started talking about music videos, and I'm segueing here, 'cause I don't really want to talk about Evolution of Mistake too much, or that song. When we started talking about music videos, in my head, it was sort of an unfinished business. We talked about working together, it didn't happen. We had written a song that never got placed. We're really proud of it. I know, and we've talked about it collectively. That's probably, if you listen to the album, that's the one song that I can sit there and go, fuck, holy hell.
Something good came out of all that.
Yeah, so it's a real positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like listening to it again. I feel like, And now after this conversation, I feel like that should kind of be the music video. I feel like now that I had the whole story written out and you guys put all that effort, I feel like there's a fucking epic music video.
It is,
right
dude.
there
It's
to
pretty
be done.
badass, man.
I mean, like,
there, man.
It's November Rain on Crack.
I feel like that would be that'd
With
be
a
the
bullshit
easier.
graph.
It'd be the easy music video because I feel, and also feel that idea of unfinished business.
You had an idea already to begin with.
Yeah, I feel like
See,
There's a part in recording. It was the song we were most worried about in quality, timing, and everything, and it came out.
Beginning to
It came
was-
out excellent. Yeah.
That was one of those songs I remember Jeff and I listening to it in the car, and we're like driving up to go for coffee, and he's like, "Dude, man, this is fucking epic," and I was like, "Yep." So there was this unfinished business component.
I never said the word epic. I don't fucking say word.
No, this is like an
It
epic
is pretty
song.
epic, though.
It is, but I wouldn't say it. That's
He
my-
just said,
That's my point.
Well, you got a title like that, you got a lot to live up to, right?
yeah. So it's something we're really proud of. Never sort of came to fruition outside of that. Dude, it's fucking epic.
I wouldn't say that shit.
I didn't say
You know what I mean?
verbatim. I'm fucking paraphrasing you. Jesus. So I think the
I was
big
like,
thing.
yeah, that's fucking cool. I think that's about it. Sorry, you were saying something, George.
I'm trying to get him to talk a little bit about.
Then shut the fuck up and let him talk. 80% of this podcast is you.
Actually, it's not.
No, eh?
79% is me.
Oh,
You've got about 3 or 4% just you alone.
oh wow. That's up.
Oh, 3 or 4%.
That's up. About
That
3 or 4%.
guy usually doesn't say anything. So anyway, so it almost seemed like an obvious choice to talk about picking the song and doing a music video, which then we gave you a list, and you came up with...
Surely I master.
No.
No, Straight Jacket.
There you go. So, since we're all together, why don't you, and we've talked about ideas before, but why don't you sort of give us an overview, us and the 7 or 8 people that actually listen to this podcast, an overview of sort of where your head's at with it, because I mean, now you've had an opportunity to hear the song a few times and get a sense that you've got the lyrical content as well, so.
For me, it's still in the early stages. Like, again, like there's a big stuff that I do. It tends to be very atmospheric based, and metal isn't particularly known for being atmospheric. The song is pretty. Actually, any of the songs you gave me, you know, I was always looking. Is there kind of a? It's just like a really intense song from start to finish. And film, you kind of like to have a little flow, and the flow is just boom. So like for me, it's just like how to start, and like even like usually I have a very confident view of where to start and end, and here it's just like. And I'm trying to figure out how to maintain it from start to. So we talked about the idea of like, tell me what the song meant to you guys, and the idea of like that duality that, which a lot of people go through, right? Living that kind of one life, domesticated or whatever, and then the other side of them that they don't really show, which is like ripe for metal, right? So the idea of how way to visualize that. So what I've been playing with is the idea of this kind of this one character that we follow going through domestic life, and the idea that the song is something that's kind of represents what's bent out. So the idea of like having the band, this is still early stages, the idea of the band kind of, you know, if we're having the guy having dinner with his family, you know, and that, you know, that side that a lot of, you know, you read about these people who commit suicide, who go on these rampages, and they tend to be the most, you always hear, they're the most normal, well-adjusted people. Or at least to their families, to everybody, like, well, we had no idea. The idea that we kind of can visualize when the music is kicking in, like the idea of the band being in that whatever environment that he's in. So in the kitchen, you know, like that domesticated, and the idea of like visually kind of, and having the band already playing that environment to kind of internalize what he's going through.
That's badass, man.
Yeah, even in a bedroom, like taking every like mundane place in your life, and the idea of a band, because I've never seen that done before, and I thought like.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been playing with, and now I have a structure, but now I'm trying to think of a way to put it in the way how the song is kind of put
How you
together,
go from
which is
zero-
difficult because the song is
0 to 120
Yeah,
for
yeah.
4.5 minutes.
yeah. So yeah, that's like what I'm kind of working on now. But that's the idea that I'm playing with at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely is something that we sort of talked about, that break. So it's kind of neat to hear. And I think we briefly touched on, you know, not doing your stereotypical type of music video, right?
Yeah.
Where
Which-
the band, you see the band playing and one venue and that's it, and everyone gets.
Well, I can totally see why they do it now, because like it'd be like, because I started thinking, I think I'm gonna fucking do that, because it's fucking hard. It's really, really hard to do it. So that's why every metal video is the same thing. And I've seen like filmmaker friends of mine who've done metal videos, and I watch it just for inspiration. Like it's the same as the other ones. They're all. I could see like they probably had maybe a grand idea, and then they said, "Fuck it, it's way too hard. Let's not even try it." But I'm pretty stubborn, so.
One music video that I've always loved was that one that's by, is it by Tool? It's that claymation, creepy.
Yeah. But Tool's very much an atmosphere, right? Like, but generally metal videos and anything that has any kind of plot structure, they tend to be having some changes. It's easier, like Unforgiven and stuff like that. Or Enter Sandman maybe like there. Actually, no, even that has like a start to it.
Yeah, you picked the song that I think is actually a really cool song to do.
Yeah.
But you definitely picked the song that's like 100 miles an hour from start to finish. There is no, hey, let's hang out for a second and get atmospheric, and
And
then
you can
go
do
back.
the atmospheric during that little
Dun-dun.
drum
Yeah.
pause thing.
Yeah.
You got atmosphere right there for about 5 seconds.
There you go.
And then you can atmosphere the fuck out and go back to 100 miles a minute.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. That's a really cool.
I already got the actor in mind to play, and he's like pretty big in the genre.
Cool.
And he's already said yes to whatever it's gonna be. He doesn't know what I'm gonna put him through, but like, and he's never done a music video, and it's like, fuck, it's crazy that nobody would use him because he's like one of the most expressive. When I heard the song, I told you,
Yeah.
I had a guy in mind. Like there's no guy who can kind of, because again we have no dialogue. The song, the music is the dialogue. So when I see this guy, he can convey all that shit.
Cool.
And he's so.
Awesome. So there, you guys just got a sneak peek of, I think, what Straight Jacket's going to be like, which, I'm sure we'll be bringing up more news as we go along.
Yeah.
This has actually been really cool. I again, appreciate having you come down.
No, thanks for having me.
From,
It was a lot of fun.
I definitely enjoy it. And, like we said before, keep sending those questions on. Marco, do you want to close up, do your usual sign off, or someone else want to sign off today?
Yeah, well, someone else sign off. Yeah. Come on, Nels, you sign off.
No, sign off. You can even do one more shitty joke.
No, I ain't got no more jokes for today.
All right.
No more jokes?
We'll just say this much. Hope you had fun listening, and like we always say, keep your questions coming. And
We still have a song to play.
well, you can go ahead and play it when I'm done.
You do? Okay. We'll do
How
that.
about we sign off and you play the song?
How about we'll
What's
tell
the
them what song it is and then we'll sign off.
Okay.
I thought it would be pretty obvious what song we should play, since we have our guest here
Well,
today.
that could be two. So and I think we've used one already.
We've used Straight Jacket before, so it's
So
not going to be
then
Straight Jacket.
Okay.
So
sweet.
let's do the
This podcast
epic.
This is like an hour and a half podcast now with this fucking song.
I think we're going to do the epic song,
Okay.
since you're here today, Mike.
Epic. Epic.
Yeah.
All right, so you know
Fucking
what song
epic.
it is. Fucking epic.
There you
Go
go.
ahead, now you can sign off since you know what song it is.
Chicken dinner is what I like to call it.
You're going to come over to play Chicken Dinner, yes.
Well, I don't know. Should we explain chicken dinner?
No, we'll leave that for another rage, guys. So, for all of
I'll
us,
call it chicken dinner.
Fine. for all of us here at Desolate Rage, I'm George Souza.
Marco Honorado.
Nelson Philippe.
Still that guy.
Jeff Silvera, fuck's sakes.
And our guest here.
And Michael Pereira.
Thank you, Mike.
And it's been a blast.
Well, keep the questions coming, and we hope you enjoy this next tune, which I like to call chicken dinner, known as.
Serve thy master.
fire rises,